ఓకే చేయొచ్చు కదా. Yeah, sorry for the delay. Okay, hello Shak. Good morning. Page number 1. US choices are impossible operation or bad deal. US choices are impossible operations or bad deal. The same story which will be continuing. So no utility of reading it. See. Whether if you are having any issues with your neighboring countries, sorry, your neighbors in your near your house, మనకు కొంచెం ఇబ్బంది ఉంటుందా లేదా? ఏదో ఒకటి అలా అంటూ ఉంటారు. It will be problematic. Say in their house if there is some quarrel, we will be listening it. There will be some impact on us. There will be some impact on us, spillover effect on us. How for us as a single person or a family will be having problem with the neighbors. Similarly, for a nation called as India, we had many neighbors. If there is any problem with them, it will be problematic for us. Now an additional problem to us, thank you. An additional problem along with that is that, see, we have two worst neighbors. Pakistan and China, right? Now, in fact, it is feared of two front war, both of them attacking on us together. This idea is called as two front war. Problem ekkada vastundante, remaining neighbors, say Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Afghanistan, Sri Lanka, they should be towards us. Once upon a time, they used to be completely pro towards India. But later on, with the rise of China, many countries are going towards China. That is a problematic. Now, Pakistan completely went into the fold of China. Bangladesh went into the fold of China. Sri Lanka, without any option, went into the fold of China because of revenue, the debt they had given. Now, we had two credible neighbors, Bhutan and Nepal. But if the problem ఏమవుతుందంటే, Nepal slowly becoming this friend of China. There are number of examples of it, and one more major thing is this article. Now, see, what is the issue? Do we have any boundary dispute with Pakistan? Where? Which place? Pakistan, this Kashmir region, Gilgit-Baltistan region, similarly in Gujarat and Rajasthan region also. With China, line of actual control. Now, ఇది చాలనట్టు ఆల్రెడీ 2 తలనొప్పులు ఉన్నాయి. Again we are getting one more headache of boundary dispute, that is with Nepal. Now they had started this in 2022. Again they are continuing this. August 2025 they had raised this issue, and yesterday also they had raised this issue. వాళ్ళ ప్రాబ్లం ఏంటి అని అంటే, see this is Nepal, this is our Uttarakhand, this is China. Boundary between these three, this is called as Kalapani. This pass is called as Lipulek Pass. Kalapani Limpiadura అని అంటాం. ఆ పేరు మొత్తం అంత పేరు Kalapani Limpiadura. Now this is a boundary dispute between India and Nepal. Now their idea ఏంటి అని అంటే, see, once upon a time in Nepal also there used to be British Empire. In modern history you will be learning. Now what had happened in 1816 with a treaty called as Treaty of Sugauli, boundary between India and Nepal has been finalized. అయితే అక్కడ బ్రిటిష్ వాళ్ళు చేసిన తప్పు ఏంటి అంటే, వాట్ ద మిస్టేక్ బ్రిటిష్ పీపుల్ హ్యాడ్ డన్, దే హ్యాడ్ మెన్షన్ ఇక్కడ ఒక ఏంటిది కాళీ రివర్ అనేది ఒకటి ఉంటుంది. కాళీ రివర్ ఎక్కడైతే స్టార్టింగ్ పాయింట్ ఉంటుందో, సారీ కాళీ రివర్ ఎక్కడైతే ఎండింగ్ పాయింట్ ఉంటుందో, left side of that entirely will be with Nepal, this side will be with India. But problem enti? River will be changing, right? Now they are telling that the river koncham shrink ayindi. This boundary came this side. So obviously they are claiming that territory. Understood? Now river ekkada daaka undedi, now it is flowing this side. So they are claiming this entire territory. This is the issue. But we are completely condemning these activities. Now see, Nepal is completely pro towards India. అయితే ఇదంతా దేని వల్ల జరిగింది అంటే in 2021 Nepal had taken money from China. This they are acting just as a pseudo China. ఇండియాని భయపడడానికి చేస్తున్న యాక్టివిటీ, this is from the support of China. This type of activity from Nepal is called as cartographic aggression. You need to use this word in your internal security and also in your international relations. Cartographic aggression. Understood? Cartographic aggression. Cartography అంటే తెలుసు కదా, maps. So they want to make us angry by bringing changes to our map. Now ఇప్పుడు వాళ్ళు ఏం చెప్తున్నారు, that this is part of India, but this is not part of India, this is our sovereign territory. Understood the dispute between India and Nepal? Right. Now say for example in the examination they will be for example first in the prelims how it can be asked, Kalapani Limpiadura issue or Lip Lake issue is between which two countries? India and Nepal. Next in the mains examination, see in IR, in mains examination in international relations we will be having 4 questions. International relations is of which paper? GS 2. In GS 2 we will be having 4 questions from IR. Question number 9, 10, 19, 20. This is fixed pattern, 9, 10, 19, 20, 2 10 markers and 2 15 markers. Now in this one question will be India and major power, that means China, Russia, USA, Japan. One question will be India and neighborhood, that means Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Nepal and all. One question will be India as part of any global organization, BRICS, SCO, BIMSTEC, SAARC. One question will be some international issue which will be affecting our country. For example, Gulf crisis currently, energy security, any climate crisis, right? This is a fixed pattern. 4 questions will be coming. Now for sure there will be one question on India and neighborhood. Now instead of this 4th question they can also ask diaspora. Diaspora అంటే ఇండియన్స్ ఎవరైతే బయట ఉంటున్నారో ఆర్ పర్సన్స్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియన్ ఒరిజిన్ ఆర్ ఎన్ఆర్ఐస్ హు ఆర్ స్టేయింగ్ అవుట్ సైడ్ వాళ్ళ గురించి. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇన్ 22 మెయిన్స్ they had asked diaspora of USA. In 21 mains they had asked about diaspora of UK. Anyway, you will be learning that in your international relations. Now these are the 4 questions. Every year we will be getting one question on our neighborhood. It could be anything. Alternatively they will be asking the things. Now how if a question comes from IR, ఒకే ఒక type of question వస్తుంది. Say relations between them, historical relations between them, positives, negatives, this challenges, way forward, etc. అంత ఇంకేం లేదు కదా. ఇప్పుడు ఏ కంట్రీ రిలేషన్ అడగాలన్నా దీనికి మించి ఇంకేం స్కోప్ లేదు. Now they will be attaching any recent current affair with it. Now with Nepal the very biggest problem for us is this. Biggest problem for us is this cartographic aggression. Now along with that there are many issues like there is Communist Party of Nepal, they are having link with Naxalites in our country. Now this will be learning in our internal security. Next further with Nepal, say this is Nepal. Here what are the states will be, what will be the states here? UP, Bihar. Now the people here and the people here are having cultural relations since many decades. Pakkapakna unte untadu kada, cultural relations since many decades. Now here there are people called as Madesis. Akkadunna people called as Madesis. Now Madesis are more towards India than to Nepal. మన కంట్రీలో ఉండి ఒకరు వేరే కంట్రీకి సపోర్ట్ చేస్తే ఇండియాకి ప్రాబ్లం వస్తుందా లేదా? ఇన్ ద సేమ్ ఫార్మాట్ నేపాల్ fears this. Understood? For example, there is an issue called as Madhesi blockade. India wanted to help Nepal, but Nepal do not want to help us. So what they had done, they had blocked this entire territory. This is called as Madhesi blockade. Now you will be learning all these things in your IR. Now what I am mentioning is that in the answers for sure you need to mention this cartographic aggression. Clear? Okay. And in the internal security also we will be having one more topic called as in the syllabus, security challenges across various borders of our country. This is one more security challenge. Induku, if there is no earmarked boundary, there is chance of instability. Induku Kashmir lo ivanni jarugutunnayi. వాళ్ళకి వీళ్ళకి ఎవరికి చెందుతుందో తెలియదు కాబట్టే కదా పాకిస్తాన్ ఆక్యుపైడ్ కాశ్మీర్లోని టెర్రరిస్ట్ అందరూ ఉన్నాం. నౌ ఇఫ్ దిస్ బికమ్స్ అన్ అన్గవర్న్డ్ టెరిటరీ ఇన్ ద ఫ్యూచర్, దిస్ విల్ బి ఎ ప్రాబ్లమాటిక్ థింగ్. వీ వాంట్ ఫ్రెండ్లీ రిలేషన్స్ విత్ అవర్ నైబర్. ఉన్న తలనొప్పులు చాలు, ఎక్స్ట్రా తలనొప్పులు ఏం అవసరం లేదు మనకి, రైట్? సో దాట్స్ వై ఇన్ఫ్యాక్ట్ ఇండియా ఆల్వేస్ ట్రైస్ టు హెల్ప్ అవర్ నైబర్స్. వీ హ్యావ్ అవర్ ఫారెన్ పాలసీ మైండ్ సెట్ అనేది ఒకటి ఉంటుంది. Now every country will be having some priorities with respect to our neighborhood. We will be following the priorities like neighborhood first policy. Our priority is first neighborhood. Second, Gujarat doctrine. Gujarat doctrine ante ardham enti ante, Gujarat, you might be heard this person, I.K. Gujarat. Who is he? In the past is the prime minister. Now he had given his doctrine with respect to foreign policy. Andulo em untadante principle of non-reciprocality. Principle of non-reciprocality. What is the meaning of that? Say for example, if you are doing something for USA, we will be expecting something in return. But for our neighborhood, we shouldn't do that. We should not expect anything from them, but we should help them. This is called as principle of non-reciprocality. అర్థమైందా? వాళ్ళ నుండి ఏమీ ఆశించకుండా మనం హెల్ప్ చేయాలి. This is called as principle of non-reciprocality. This is also very, very important. Clear? Now, yeah. Next. Now the issue says Nepal raises Lip Lake issue. India says no historical record. India is not accepting this. Now inkoka karanam kuda enti ante, in that reason if you see the map here, Tibet loni Manasarovar yatra jarugutadi, idea untadi kada. To go there people should go through Lip Lake pass. Okay. Now they had found out the right time to question this. Understood? Yeah. Next. Parties brace for verdict. EC promises transparency. Page number 1 itself. You know, today is the results day for the 5 state elections. Ekkada elections? Assam, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, West Bengal, Puducherry. Now, whatever be the results, it doesn't matter for us. Now thing is, now currently we are under model code of conduct. Under model code of conduct. What is the meaning of this? Code of conduct. Say for example, say you have to come to the class exactly at the right time. You have to go after the class finishes only. You shouldn't talk to anyone beside you during the class. All these are guidelines. In the same format, during the election period, the guidelines given by the Election Commission of India to political parties who are contesting, to the people, to the government officials, to the ruling party. Basically, these are rules given by the Election Commission of India during the entire election process. Understood? This is called as model code of conduct. This is not mentioned in any act. These are just rules given by the Election Commission of India, and these are not enforceable. If that is being violated, for example, one of the thing in this model code of conduct is that a ruling party cannot use the government officials during the election process. If that is being violated, we cannot go to the court. Endukante this is not mentioned in the constitution, this is not mentioned in the act. These are guidelines given directly by the Election Commission of India. Only they can punish. For example, many people had filed case on Prime Minister Modi with Election Commission of India. He had went to this Assam election campaign recently, and he had taken this delimitation bill kavalani aapesaru itla. He is misrepresenting the terms ఫ్యాక్ట్స్ని మిస్రిప్రజెంట్ చేస్తున్నారు అని చెప్పి ఫాల్స్ చేస్తున్నారు, దిస్ ఈస్ వైలేటివ్ ఆఫ్ ది మోడల్ కోడ్ ఆఫ్ కండక్ట్, సో యూ టేక్ కేస్ ఆన్ హిమ్. బట్ ద ప్రాబ్లమ్ ఈజ్ దాట్ దిస్ ఈజ్ ఎంటైర్లీ విత్ ది డిస్క్రిషన్ ఆఫ్ ది ఎలక్షన్ కమిషన్. వాళ్ళు అనుకుంటే అవుతుంది, లేదంటే లేదు. In the past they had filed case on Rahul Gandhi, but they had not filed case on Honorable Prime Minister. During COVID-19, during this lockdown period and all, Honorable Prime Minister had conducted this meeting. Many people, more than 10,000 people came to that. అప్పుడు restrictions ఉన్నాయి కదా, but no case has been imposed on Honorable Prime Minister. But at the same time on Rahul Gandhi, ban on publicity for 72 hours has been imposed. ఆయన అదే పని చేసినందుకు. So of course the problem is that there is lack of transparency in the ECI. This is an allegation since many years. అది పక్కన పెడితే now our discussion is model code of conduct. From when this will be starting? ఎందుకు ఇది ఎంత స్ట్రెస్గా చెప్తున్నానంటే డ్యూరింగ్ ది పీరియడ్ ఆఫ్ మోడల్ కోడ్ ఆఫ్ కండక్ట్ ది రూలింగ్ గవర్నమెంట్ ఎట్ ద టైమ్ విల్ నాట్ బి హ్యావింగ్ ఎనీ పవర్, ట్రాన్స్ఫర్, రికమెండేషన్ ఆర్ సే అనౌన్సింగ్ ఎనీథింగ్ మస్ట్ బీ డన్ బై ది ఎలక్షన్ కమిషన్. ఎలక్షన్ కమిషనే మొత్తం రాజు ఆ మోడల్ కోడ్ ఆఫ్ కండక్ట్ ఉండే 3-4 నెలలు మొత్తం అంతా కూడా. సో వీ నీడ్ టు నో ది పీరియడ్ వేర్ దిస్ విల్ బి దేర్. మోడల్ కోడ్ ఆఫ్ కండక్ట్ విల్ బి స్టార్టెడ్ immediately with the commencement of press meet by the చీఫ్ ఎలక్షన్ కమిషనర్. ఏదైనా ఎలక్షన్ పెట్టే ముందు చీఫ్ ఎలక్షన్ కమిషనర్ వచ్చి ఒక ప్రెస్ మీట్ పెడతారు, ఎప్పుడెప్పుడు డేట్స్ అని అనౌన్స్ చేస్తారు. దట్ ప్రెస్ మీట్ ఈజ్ ద స్టార్టింగ్ పాయింట్. ఎండ్ ఆఫ్ దట్ ప్రెస్ మీట్ ఈజ్ ద స్టార్టింగ్ పాయింట్ ఫర్ మోడల్ కోడ్ ఆఫ్ కండక్ట్. నౌ వెన్ దిస్ విల్ బి ఫినిష్డ్, after nominations everything is done, everything will be finished, elections will be done, counting will be done, counting అయిపోయిన తర్వాత winners will be announced, that winners list will be sent to the governor will be approving this and will be sending to the speaker. Then this model code of conduct will be closed. అర్థమైందా? until and unless governor will be signing, this model code of conduct will not be stopped. Until then the election commission of India will be the ruler. Understood? This is called as model code of conduct. Now this will be asked in the examination, model code of conduct eppudu start avuddi, eppudu end avuddi, everything and all, whether it is statutory. No act is there. Now in the mains it will be asked whether we need to give statutory backing to the model code of conduct in the elections chapter. Every year we will be getting 2 questions from the elections chapter. Now there this will be asked, model code of conduct and ND and all. Fine? Yeah. Next. Yeah, page number 12. Our Vishnu Guru is going to meet all the countries in the May. Government on major diplomatic outreach on May. Honorable Prime Minister and External Affairs Minister is planning to attend many meetings, BRICS meeting, Quad meeting, Africa, he is going to Europe, he is going to Indian Ocean region. Honorable Jaishankar is going to Caribbean countries, he is staying there for 9 days. 9 months ఉంది కానీ 9 days మిగతా తిరగడం అవ్వదు కదా 9 days. Now so this article only mentions where they are going. Now that is different. Whenever they will be going, we will be getting the outcome, then we can discuss on them. How we had discussed recently SCO, దాని ముందు మనం ఏం చూసాం, BRICS, SCO, BRICS and all. Whenever the things will be coming, we will be following them. One more important, right side bottom, Congress demands discussion on Great Nicobar project in Parliament. One more news related to that is recently National Green Tribunal had given, in February 2026, National Green Tribunal had given approval to Great Nicobar project. Now what is this? Both of them are very important for APPSC, TSPSC and UPSC also. Now what is this? National Green Tribunal. Ikkadiki veldam. What I am telling is, ది గ్రేట్ నికోబార్ ప్రాజెక్ట్ గాట్ అప్రూవల్ ఫ్రమ్ ది నేషనల్ గ్రీన్ ట్రిబ్యునల్. ఏమైనా అసలు మనకి ఏమైనా అప్రూవల్ కావాలా అంటే ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ వాట్ ఈస్ దిస్ నేషనల్ గ్రీన్ ట్రిబ్యునల్? వాట్ ఈస్ మెన్ బై ట్రిబ్యునల్? A type of court, quasi judicial thing, a type of court. Can I call it as a type of court? Now we had established a court separately for environmental issues. Now our idea is that when giving a decisions with respect to environment, taking decisions with respect to environment, say for example ఒక ప్రాజెక్ట్ ఉంది, ఆ ప్రాజెక్ట్ వల్ల వాటర్ పొల్యూషన్ అవుతుంది, ఎయిర్ పొల్యూషన్ అవుతుంది అన్నాం అనుకోండి, rather than a judge, an environmental expert might have better knowledge. To give a proper judgment, we thought that rather than the traditional judiciary like Supreme Court and High Court, if there is some type of mechanism who will be having knowledge with environmental issues, pollution గురించి, waste management గురించి, sustainable lifestyle గురించి, ఇవి తెలిసిన వాళ్ళు ఉంటే బాగుంటుందని అనుకుని what we had done in 2010 we had created NGT Act, National Green Tribunal Act. This act had created a statutory court called as National Green Tribunal. Now here its jurisdiction is to look after all the environmental issues. Now environment గురించి మాట్లాడుతున్నప్పుడు జనరలీ రూల్స్ అన్నీ ఫాలో అయితే అవ్వదు కదా. దట్ మీన్స్ సే ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ సిఆర్పిసి, ఐపీసీ, భారతీయ న్యాయ సంహిత అది వేరు, కానీ ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్ని వేరే ప్రెసెంట్తో మనం చూడాలి కదా. సో క్లియర్లీ ది యాక్ట్ సేస్ దట్ నేషనల్ గ్రీన్ ట్రిబ్యునల్ ఈజ్ నాట్ గైడెడ్ బై ఐపీసీ, ఇండియన్ ఎవిడెన్స్ యాక్ట్ ఆర్ సిఆర్పిసి. It is guided by principles of natural justice. Principles of natural justice meaning ఏంటి? మన మనసుకి ఏది కరెక్ట్ అనిపిస్తే అదే కరెక్ట్, రూల్స్ రెగ్యులేషన్స్ కాదు. న్యాచురల్ జస్టిస్, ఫర్ అవర్ హార్ట్ వాట్ సీమ్స్ టు బి రైట్, దట్ ఈస్ రైట్. సో వెన్ గివింగ్ ఎ జడ్జ్మెంట్ దే విల్ బి లుకింగ్ ఫ్రమ్ దేర్ హార్ట్, నాట్ ఫ్రమ్ ఎనీ రూల్స్. ప్రిన్సిపల్స్ ఆఫ్ న్యాచురల్ జస్టిస్. నౌ అలాంగ్ విత్ దట్ the act, this NGT clearly has a guideline that any case before it should be cleared within 6 months. పక్క ఎందుకంటే ఎన్విరాన్మెంటల్ ఇష్యూస్ ఆగకూడదు. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ someone had claimed filed a case on పోలవరం ప్రాజెక్ట్, దిస్ ఈస్ destroying the environment అని చెప్పి ఇట్ హ్యాడ్ డిలేడ్. ఆ ప్రాజెక్ట్ స్టార్ట్ అయిపోయింది, పాడైపోయిన ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్ మళ్ళీ తీసుకొని రాగలమా? Obviously not. So there is need for fast and timely judgment. With that idea we had given these type of powers to the NGT, and in the act itself it is clearly mentioned what all the under what all the jurisdiction this will be getting. For example, say we have Water Act 1974, Air Act 1981, Environment Protection Act 1986. ఇలాగా ఏమేమి యాక్ట్స్ కింద దీంట్లో కేసు ఫైల్ చేయొచ్చు అనేది కూడా మనకు అందులో మెన్షన్ చేసి ఉంటుంది. యూ విల్ బి గెటింగ్ దిస్ ఇన్ యువర్ ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్ చాప్టర్. సో బేసికలీ విల్ యూ యాక్సెప్ట్ దట్ ఎన్జిటి ఈజ్ అన్ ఎన్విరాన్మెంటల్ కోర్ట్? నౌ గవర్నమెంట్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా in 2021 had announced a great project called as Great Nicobar Project near the Nicobar Islands. Near the Nicobar Islands, say if this is Andaman and Nicobar, we will be having the Great Nicobar here. Now, sorry, last one, Great Nicobar. మీకు తప్పదు నా బొమ్మలకి చూడడం. Now this, if this is the Great Nicobar, Government of India had announced a project called as Great Nicobar Project. Now what is this? First of all, understand this is a huge biodiversity. India is part of 4 biodiversity hotspots in the world. అంటే ప్రపంచం మొత్తం మీద 17 biodiversity hotspots ఉంటాయి. In that 4 of them are present in India, and in that one of them is this Andaman and Nicobar Islands. This is part of Malaya Peninsula biodiversity hotspot. అంటే the meaning of biodiversity hotspot is that there are n number of different unique species and there is some problem to it also. So అక్కడ మనం కాపాడాల్సిన బాధ్యత మనకు ఉంది. Next, second thing, Great Nicobar has one more significance, that it has many PVTGs. In your anthropology you might have learned about particularly vulnerable tribal groups. What are the 5 tribes here, if anyone? Shompen Singha? జరేవాస్, ఇంకా సెంటినలీస్. ఓకే, వస్తుందిలేండి మీకు. నౌ ఇన్ దిస్ there are 5 aboriginal tribes over there. 5 aboriginal tribes over there. Anthropology కాకపోయినా తెలియాలి, geography fine. Now 5 aboriginal tribes over there, we need to protect them. That is their residence. Sentinelese ఎంత backward అని అంటే, for example, if I am going, they will be killing me. In the past, many people, many Christian missionaries went to bring them to the main fort, their dressing, lifestyle. After that, after going to the house, once look any documentary about Sentinelese, you will be understanding that. Now, one of the Christian missionary went, వాళ్ళు అతను డైరెక్ట్గా చంపేశారు దిస్ ఈ బాణాలతోని. దే ఆర్ లివింగ్ ది ఏన్షియంట్ వే ఆఫ్ లైఫ్. అండ్ ఫర్దర్ వన్ మోర్ ప్రాబ్లం ఏంటి అని అంటే, దే ఆర్ లివింగ్ విత్ ఎ డిఫరెంట్ టైప్ ఆఫ్ లైఫ్ స్టైల్. నా అక్కడికి మనం వెళ్తే దెర్ ఈజ్ ఆల్సో ఛాన్స్ ఆఫ్ స్ప్రెడ్ ఆఫ్ ఎనీ డిసీజెస్. వాళ్ళు ఒక డిఫరెంట్ లైఫ్ స్టైల్ ఉన్నారు, మనము వెళ్ళేటప్పుడు వీ విల్ బీ క్యారింగ్ డిఫరెంట్ టైప్స్ ఆఫ్ బ్యాక్టీరియా విత్ అస్, మైక్రో ఆర్గానిజమ్స్ విత్ అస్. సో దెర్ ఈజ్ ఛాన్స్ ఆఫ్ ఎండ్ ఆఫ్ దట్ ఎంటైర్ సివిలైజేషన్. నో ఇదన్నీ కాదన్నట్టు, బట్ వీ నో దిస్ ఈజ్ ట్రైబల్లీ డిఫరెంట్, culturally different, environmentally very diverse, we need to protect it. But Government of India went ahead with Great Nicobar project. Now what is this Great Nicobar project? This is a largest infrastructure project with an investment of around 76,000 crores. Em cheddam antunna, there we are constructing greenfield airport, transshipment container terminal, అంటే పుష్పలాగా ఎర్రచందనం పంపిణీకి, transshipment terminal, airports, cities, port infrastructure, everything we are constructing over there. Construct చేయాలంటే అక్కడ ఉన్నవన్నీ తీసేయాలి కదా. This is the problematic. And there are many critically endangered species over there. Galathea Bay reservoir is there over there. Galathea Bay wildlife sanctuary is there. That means problem for biodiversity, environment and all. Even knowing all these things, why we are proceeding forward? Why we are proceeding forward? The reason is that, see, we are having two friend problem as we had discussed. ఈ గ్రేట్ నికోబార్ పక్కన we will be having Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia and all. This part is called as Strait of Malacca. Now, how Strait of Hormuz is important for us? Strait of Malacca is important for China. 80% of resources of China will be coming from this Strait of Malacca. Whenever, if China thinks to block India, Nepal ద్వారా కానీ, టిబెట్ ద్వారా కానీ, ఆర్ నార్త్ ఈస్ట్, ఎనీథింగ్ దే వాంట్ టు డూ, it will be in our hand. We can, it is just 16 kilometers from it, Great Nicobar. So we can block it. This is called as Malaccan dilemma of China. దీన్ని Malaccan dilemma of China అంటున్నాం, వాళ్ళకున్న ప్రాబ్లమ్ని. We can materialize it. Now other than that, China to contain India, last thing, I will leave this. China to contain India, అదేం చేస్తుందంటే, it is constructing, to contain India in the maritime domain, it is constructing ports around us. For example, it had taken over Gwadar port in Pakistan, Dukum port in Oman, Hambantota port in Sri Lanka, Sitwe port in Myanmar. This is joining all of them. This is called as string of pearls strategy from China. Now we need to counter it. To counter that, we are encircling that. China చేస్తుందని strategic encirclement అంటున్నాం. To encircle China, what we are doing, we are also taking ports. Chabahar port in Iran, another place in Dukum port over there, this one port in Mauritius, Sabang port in Indonesia, and this our Andaman and Nicobar project. ఇప్పుడు ఇది ఉంది కదా, so this will be part of India's counter strategy. Understood? This port, వేరే వాళ్ళు ఎవరిదో మనం రిక్వెస్ట్ చేసే బదులు మన ల్యాండే కదా అండమాన్ అండ్ నికోబార్. సో దిస్ strategy of India is called as necklace of diamonds strategy, right? So to counter China, and along with that, every year we are paying millions, crores of rupees to Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka acts as a major transshipment terminal. ఎక్కడైనా ఒక దగ్గర, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఫ్రమ్ ఆఫ్రికా టు చైనా, సమ్ గూడ్స్ ఆర్ గోయింగ్ ఆన్, మధ్యలో ఆగాలి కదా ఎక్కడో దగ్గర, రీఫ్యూలింగ్ అండ్ ఆల్, దే విల్ బి stopping in that. This stopping is called as transshipment terminal. This that Andaman and Nicobar is in between this, so we can materialize it. We will be getting lot of revenue. and Andaman and Nicobar people are also relatively backward over there. This will be helping them, employment opportunities and all, but the problem is that environment is the issue. Now, as we know, environment versus development trade-off will be there. This is the same issue. Now in the ethics, they will be asking the case study, already adigesaru, malli kuda adagani chance undi. Environment versus development case study they can ask, and further in GS3 environment they will be asking about this, and in economy also they can ask this. Clear? Now the points we quoted, string of pearls, necklace of diamonds, all these things you can quote in the answers in different places. Clear? Okay, thank you. We'll meet again.